What's up, everybody? Today, you can see behind me, I have the seat off of the DRZ 400. I purchased a Seat Concepts foam / seat cover kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the seat cover popped off of this factory pan, pull the foam off, then go ahead and go through the steps to get the seat cover on. Right now I'm going to show you kind of what comes with the Seat Concepts here, and I'll get started on removing the cover off the Suzuki. Okay, here is the seat cover. This is carbon fiber on the sides, black on top. There's a look at the underside. Now these Seat Concepts seats, I've had these in the past. They basically are not waterproof. If you're really soaking them down with water, you give them a quick wash, it's not too bad. So they do give you this plastic right here. You can see it. And what you do is you put that on top of your foam, tuck underneath your seat cover, and then just go ahead and staple everything on as a moisture barrier. So that's the seat cover right there. Of course, you get instructions. These are just basically general instructions for every bike seat. Then they have some special instructions here, not for the DRZ, but for Kawasaki Versys, Yamaha XSR 900, and Husky and KTM seats. They give you two decals. Of course, this is the foam seat here. This is the foam from Seat Concepts right here. That's what you get. And what you have to do is, once I get the seat cover and foam off of this pan, you have to glue that foam to this seat pan, which this is what I have right here. 3M Super 77, which is one that they recommend in the instructions to use. I just happen to have some here. Okay, tools I'm using. I have this little screwdriver that the end's been on for pulling the staples out. A pair of dikes here for pulling the staples out, or side cutters. Maybe I shouldn't say dikes nowadays. Another screwdriver. These are the staples I will be using right here. You can see that they're the staples with a little bit of a tooth on them. I'm not sure of the size of these. They're T50. I'm not sure if this is the box they came in or not, but I believe it is T50 5/16, and they're number 505. And of course, it's much easier with either an air-powered stapler or electric. You can do it by hand. I've done it before, but it's a real pain because you're shooting through. Those seat pans are thick plastic that you're shooting your staple through. So it's a lot easier to go this route. This is right here's the number. This is the DRZ seat cover right here, part number. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this seat over and start pulling some of these staples out. I already did a few here. I'll show you how to get them out. Okay, again, I'm just using this screwdriver. I just put this in a vise and bent it a little bit. I use it for all kind of prying stuff out, but get the staples here. See if I can get this where you can see. These staples are actually painted black, so they're pretty hard to see. I'm trying to get this where you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Just get it underneath your staple, pull your staple up, then you can take your side cutters and just pull it out. There's a look at the staple right there. They're basically the same size that I'm using. So I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm going to go around, get all these staples out. There's probably 100 or so of them in here, 80. You can also take these side cutters if you just got to be careful cutting your seat. You can dig these down and pull them out, but it's much easier with a screwdriver. You just pry it in there, pull them up, Do a bunch at a time, like that. Pull them out. And of course you can see here, there's your seat cover coming off right there. Now I did pull these little blocks here. There's still 2 remaining in the seat. I pulled these out. There's little tits on here. You just push these back in whenever you're done. But I took these out because it's a little tough sometimes trying to pull your new seat cover over. And these are in the way. It makes it easier with these off so that you can just pull it right down over, do it, then trim your seat cover, put your little rubber pieces back in. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out, and then I'll get back in touch with you. Okay, I got all the staples out. Pull this puppy off of here. Oh, look, I thought I had them all out, you little bastard. Okay. There you go. Seat pan. Seat cover, Suzuki. Now pull this off here. This is glued on, so be gentle in case you ever want to put it back on again. Now you can see this. I have no idea how that got like that, because the bike must have been laid over one time and didn't rip the seat cover, but there's a large hunk kind of out of it there. Kind of lays over the back end here a little bit. Trying to keep that all together. Okay, here we go. Boom. Okay, now what I got to do is take this 3M adhesive. I'm going to spray a light coat on this pan and also some on this seat on the inside here. And of course, get it lined up real good and stick it on there. Now this does, the Seat Concepts, it actually has a little lip. Seems like it's so freaking hard to see. A little lip here of foam which does go up and over the whole outside of the seat pan. So that does kind of help you line it up, you know, in this area along here, along both sides. And it just flips up over the back. It doesn't come up over like this, just a little piece sticking up over the back to protect the edge. Now the sides, of course, you have nothing. But so I'm going to go ahead and spray this up and try to stick this bad boy on. You might want to clean this up with a little something, maybe take some wipe down over it or some lacquer thinner. So I have some places on here, old adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and clean those off. Then I'll get to spraying it and sticking this on. Let that tack a few minutes. I'm going to let that go for maybe even close to 5 minutes, and go ahead and stick them together. Okay, I just laid that, I had that tacked up. It laid on, all I did was take this piece right here, laid it right on the seat, just made sure it was lined up in the back, started there, and it basically just laid right up. I just pushed it as I went, come up to the front, then of course put this lip up over, make sure it's up over when you glue it, and I'm going to let this dry now for a few minutes here, and then I'm going to go ahead and make sure you don't have any spots like this on the side. It's kind of sticking there. You want to get those up, because otherwise your seat cover is going to look goofy, you know, all along there. Okay, I'm going to let that dry up, and we'll start putting the seat cover on. Okay, I'm ready to start putting the seat cover on. Now I did put a piece of the plastic that they give you. I laid this plastic out on the floor, sprayed it with some of that adhesive, left it set up a couple minutes, and I went ahead and just laid it on this seat foam and pushed it in real good. I mean, you're going to have little ripples in it and that, but it shouldn't show through on your seat cover. Okay, so what you want to do is they want you to put this nose up in the front of the seat cover, the gas tank area. And what you want to do, I'm going to flip it over. You got to check. You want to look at it, make sure it's laying right where it needs to be, up here, and then kind of pull it right in this area, and you want to make sure it's going to lay real nice and even down through here, and even kind of check your back a little bit here. Because what they want you to do is do some staples under the front. Of course, you're stapling under the front. They want you to do across the front, some across the back. I'm going to stretch it back across the back. Then, of course, you work your way back on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and get something in here when I feel comfortable with where this is on the front. And believe me, mine's not going to be perfect. I've done them before. I never get them perfect. And it'll tell you, you want to make sure your staples are, I believe it says no longer than 1/4 inch, because you could actually staple through. When you're stapling in here, you could actually staple up through your seat. You don't want to do that. Even with this staple gun, you do got to put a good amount of pressure on the gun and push to get that staple to go through the plastic. Okay. I'm going to try to get this over the back. I'll try to keep it. It's just really hard sometimes to look at this thing and, you know, see where it's even. And you want to make sure you're pulling enough around so you got something to staple to. You can even see, it's hard to see here, but where the two, you have your two different colors of vinyl or whatever it is here, so I'm kind of lining it up with this to kind of keep it straight. And then they just want you to work from front to back, pulling up and stapling. You have a seam. You gotta, the seam here, you kind of want that to run along the edge is kind of what you gotta look for. Okay, you can kind of see my front edge there. That's stapled on. And I'm just going to keep working down. You can see this is sticking up about an inch above the foam. So I'm just going to flip this over and keep working it. Gonna move the camera over so you can see kind of from this angle, maybe a little better. I'm going to pull this seam, make sure it's kind of riding along right where the other side is. That out of the way. Now they tell you, sometimes you have this where you get a big clump. They want you to kind of cut a V cut in it. I'm just going to kind of keep it all together and overlap it. And just go to the other side. And I am not a professional, so this is not going to be like something of beauty here. Now see, I can see on this side, I probably pulled a little too much on the other side here. So what I may do is pop this staple back out. I'm going to try to pull a little bit more over here. as I was saying, this is not going to be perfect. I will say one thing though, these Seat Concept seat covers are probably one of the easiest seat covers to install when it comes to installing any type of dirt bike or dual sport seat cover. Okay, there she is. That's just a little dust mark on the seat from me on the table here. There it is, all stapled in. Down to the back. Got a little Seat Concepts tag there. Got some dust on there I gotta wipe off, but there you can see the side. And I'll show you. I mean, I stapled the heck out of it. That's basically how it is from the factory though. You got to staple about every inch, but I mean, I just pounded them in there. Could probably even put a few more, but what I will do is I'll maybe put a ride or two on this and then pull it off to make sure no staples are coming loose anywhere, anything's pulling loose, and if I need to, hit it again. Now that was $219 from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. That was free shipping. And of course you can buy the whole setup. I believe they're over $300 if you buy the whole complete seat, so you can just swap yours out. But I have no reason to swap them out. I mean, I've had these seats before, they're awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get it put on the bike, and I'll show you here at the end how it looks on the bike. So I'll catch up with you here in a couple minutes. Alright, there we are. The seat is installed. Good view of it there. Got the carbon fiber on the side, black on the top. Show it from the top here. And I'm actually going to try to give you here a width measurement if I can get the tape measure open. This is the widest part of the seat, and it's about 8.5 inches, I'm going to say, at the widest part. But you can kind of see how it tapers from the back, gets wide right where your buttocks will be, and then of course goes up. Turned out real good, and like I said, this is probably one of the easiest seat covers to put on. I mean, real easy to get on without wrinkles, that type of deal. So if you want something more comfortable for your rear end on any of your bikes, grab a Seat Concept seat, get it on, and have a comfy ride. Get on your bike, get outside, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching.